need to have a talk about this Exodia hype wave and the question of the Mikanko deck. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So I wanted to talk about this Jeff Leonard special that we saw out of the YCS out of the weekend. The No, I Don't Have the Deck list. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the Edception, I believe it was Ed, don't call me on that, Mikanko deck list that's floating around out here. But whatever. So I've been asked by multiple people, hey, Robbie, have you seen these? Well, yeah, I was there. Strange thing, right? And then, you know, all of a sudden, all I'm hearing is, yeah, Exodia is tier 1 again. And we kind of, I look both ways down the street, typically when I cross the street here. But when I'm looking down both sides of this street, I don't understand. All right, like, we've had Exodia FTK decks around for years. All right, you've had YouTubers that were literally milking the cow for this, holy crap, this FTK video. This is no exception to the rule. The only difference here was, you know, somebody started 3-0 at an event, which if you have enough variance on your side and you win enough dice rolls, hi, I was also 3-0 going into pretty much the beginning of the day as well here. You know, you hit enough good dice rolls. Trust me, I won 2 of those 3 dice rolls, and you're able to do good. Once again, variance is a huge thing. I don't want to take anything away from this and go and have somebody go, Robbie's being negative again. No, but what I don't understand where this crazy hype train is coming from. When we've had this stuff happening around for a while now in terms of this variance, and why people are suddenly going crazy for this deck that didn't necessarily perform up to the best standards. Now, I understand, you know, the amount of people that are dissatisfied with this game. I'm going to give it to you guys. I did have a lot of conversations with a lot of people in Indy that, you know, even though the meta has shifted and there's a genuine lot of excitement, there were genuinely a lot of people that are just like, yeah, I'm just here to see people this weekend, or, you know, I'm here to play Edison, you know, I'm familiar with these older formats. These are, you know, the types of things. And then, of course, I mean, you have people that were playing the event. I was one of the people that I honestly went into Indy this weekend, and I had 0 playtesting. I had a couple minutes to talk to Johnny on Friday, but I'd already had my list set in stone. I was listening to some of the theory that Johnny had from his last deck 2 weeks ago, and I made a couple of changes based on what Johnny was saying, but I stuck to some of the standard choices and things that I wanted to play in terms of ratios. I know, sorry for the sub rant here, but I was one of the people that Runic was a good meta call for the event. It was fantastic. And I also had a few people going, oh my gosh, you know, we want to see MCO 40 versus Jeff Leonard. And it'd be like, okay, so if I hit the RNG and if I'm playing Runic and he's playing, you know, the Turbo Add a Spellcaster Exodia me deck, if I do hit one of his pieces off of a Runic, you know, banish, you know, I don't know if the deck necessarily really recovers from that. So that's something you've got to kind of keep in mind, is these Exodia decks, these gimmick decks, they're extremely fragile. But once again, the community wants to grab on to that top shelf and pull it down, and they want these easy gimmick decks. They want the excitement of something new. You know, once the format kind of feels very stale, or, you know, you're like, oh boy, it's the same amount of decks, there's really not a lot of room for innovation or exploration. And when somebody does smash into the wall here with something exciting, even if it doesn't top, players thrive on that innovation. Players want the chance to see this. But I once again, I go back to my previous question here at the beginning of this video. You know, we've had all sorts of these Exodia FTK decks that have existed for years. I've seen plenty of YouTubers uploading these, and all of a sudden one comes back into the spotlight here. It's been a very long time since we've seen some of this stuff, and now the hype smashes through. And it's just, it's interesting to see how excited this community can get, how people are like, this is the real MVP of the event, which, yeah, innovation should always be rewarded. All right, and then you got people over here in my comment section going, yeah, Robbie looks like the fat guy that would play Runic. What a dick. You know, it's just, it amazes me. The encompassing sphere of things in this community is amazing. But I do want to say congrats to Jeff Leonard for getting the community riled up. And by riled up, I mean excited, amazed. Listening to people yell, we need to ban Exodia pieces. There's always going to be that one person. If the deck can be tier 3, people will be like, ban it, ban it, ban it. You know how many people are already calling for the death of Hydrant? Yeah, Wasn't a problem last list. Now it gets the Diabell Star package. Now it's a problem. Never going to understand that. Now, I also want to talk about this this Mikanko hype that was coming out of, the Round 10 feature. Walking around a lot of the venue, I was asked the same question. Hey, did you see the Mikanko list, Robbie? Hey, you got that spicy Mikanko deck list? You know, it is the greatest thing ever. You do know that there's another YCS coming up here in, 2 weeks, Richmond? Maybe, give or take, a little bit of time there. But people might not want to share info right now. That's one big thing about, these types of lists and things. I understand that players do want this knowledge, but it's a lot of being patient. Also, we've already been through how many Mikanko profiles out here? Also, Geonator Transverser with Acid Golem. Whatever happened there with Gen and Ken, basically being able to acid lock your opponent. I feel like that was the real MVP of the weekend. When I heard about Geonator Transverser resolving an Acid Golem to attempt to soft lock the opponent so the opponent couldn't play the game, that was the excitement for me. That was honestly the pinnacle of coolness and things that you could really get out of this. So the biggest takeaways I want to say here are, yes, Exodia is back in the spotlight. People want the chance to play something that is fresh, something that's gimmicky, and something that's good. And on the other side of the current hype train in the TCG, you have more people wanting to revisit Mikanko, even though Mikanko itself wasn't necessarily a massively popular deck choice out of the weekend. A lot of people are looking at the deck because of the way that the deck plays. The battle phase, or the battle damage reflection is kind of it is the main thing that drives the deck, but this deck has so many different little niche combo lines. You get access to Assault if you're playing the combo variant. Obviously, some of the equip interactions are cool. You can also play Kaijus depending on the variant. People just look at Mikanko for the fact that the deck has all of these different utility options that lures people in on the hook and goes, hey, this seems like a really cool idea. I'm going to give that to the players too. Mikanko is something that I think is going to continue to stick around, probably as an underplayed rogue deck, just to kind of explore these things. So to answer the other question for this video, do I think buying into, is it a good idea to buy into the Exodia hype and buy into, a lot of the other hype that was coming through on this weekend? That is up to you. I know that's such a cop-out BS answer, but look at it this way. Yes, a lot of things have gone up in price tremendously. The Exodia deck is 100% gimmick. You can probably perform well on a local level with it, if that's what you want to do. I would consider it very much a local buster deck. You can do pretty okay with it. You might, if you get enough high roll variants and people have no idea what they're doing, you can probably end up topping maybe a regional at top 64. Alright, depending. If you're going into the Mikanko stuff, the stuff has been calming down quite a lot. A lot of the hype with that is, a lot of the uniqueness with the deck. But I would say the cooldown phase will begin, and a lot of the hype that's kind of built around these two decks will probably fade away off into the sunset. So, do you want to try out the power of Exodia? Or do you want to try out some of this leftover Mikanko hype that's been kind of rolling around here in the back of the format? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me what draws you into these strategies as well. It's one thing I always want to hear is, what draws my audience into these sorts of things? Is it really the pure gimmick of this? Is it just something new? Or is it the fact that the deck can kind of play differently than already what's been established? And I will see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace out. Patrons! Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.